Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to welcome you here at the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. I hope that our work during these 3 days has been helpful to you and that you learned more about the areas of development currently pursued by the Russian government in the Far East. You saw new opportunities for yourselves, and I hope that together we are going to use those opportunities. I would like to show you today the single system for support of investment projects in the Russian Far East. Right now there is a number of measures provided by about 30 federal authorities of Russia and development institutions. Those measures are provided in several key areas. The first area is that in the territories with special conditions for businesses, there are land plots available for the implementation of investment projects. First of all, these are priority development areas, the free port of Vladivostok, the special economic zones, and industrial parks located in the Far East. The second area is the establishment of the necessary infrastructure as part of programs of 4 ministries, the Ministry of Industry, the Ministry of Energy of Russia, the Ministry of Transport, and our own ministry, the Ministry for the Development of the Far East. We also have industry-targeted programs which establish the infrastructure required for investors. For example, the Ministry of Development of the Far East subsidizes investors to create infrastructure for their projects. The first 3 investment agreements have been signed by us at the Eastern Economic Forum with a total amount of government investments for this infrastructure worth 13.8 billion rubles. I can name those projects. The first one is the project in the Khabarovsk region involving the establishment of a coal terminal in the port of Vanino. The company is Sakha-Trans. The second project is also in the Khabarovsk region. That's the establishment and development of a coal field, Urga-Ugol. And the third project is located in Yakutia. That's the company Kolmar, the development of a coal field in Agninsky. We are also planning during September to sign 3 investment agreements also focused on infrastructure and the mining sector. The third area is that of support for industries. It's being implemented by the Ministry of the Industry and the Ministry of Agriculture. We also created recently a mechanism for financing industrial projects via the Fund of Industrial Development. The fourth area is support for exports. We have an export agency, XR, and Rosexim Bank. The fifth area is making sure that financing is available for investment projects. We implement this program via the Vneshekonom Bank and Rosselshoz Bank, as well as the Russian Direct Investment Fund, the Fund for Support of Industry, and the Fund for the Development of the Far East and the Baikal region. To support investment projects, we have a broad range of tools. Investors can get special loans, they can get land plots and ready infrastructure. They have considerable tax benefits, customs benefits, and they get support in terms of qualified personnel. To implement their projects in the Far East, investors can get preferential loans from Vladivostok and the Ministry of Industry and Trade. And there are also guarantees for getting soft loans. There is also the possibility to get investments in certain projects with the amount of up to 500 million rubles. That's provided by FEDF, and furthermore, we have the agency XER, which also supports exports. Investors can get land plots in 9 priority development areas and 3 industrial parks in the Khabarovsk Krai, Jewish Autonomous Oblast, and also 3 special economic zones. The lease amounts are lower there than in other territories, and the property tax as well as the land tax are 0 for the first few years. In the free port Vladivostok, the insurance rates are also reduced, and there are certain preferences regarding the profit tax and the natural resources extraction tax. The exports tax duties are also 0. We have infrastructure which is already in advanced development areas and special economic zones. We have simplified legal procedures, and the deadlines for connection to power lines are reduced to 28 days, and construction permits can be received within just 26 days. When implementing projects outside special economic zones, the Ministry of Development of the Far East provides subsidies for the development of infrastructure within investment projects, as I already mentioned. To attract qualified personnel, the government provides subsidies in the amount of 225,000 rubles per worker for workers hired at a new company. There is a program implemented by the Ministry of Labor of the Russian Federation, which is called Labor Mobility, and we expect that this program will make it possible for investors to attract to investment projects in the Far East qualified workforce. At the same time, I would like to tell you that in advanced development areas, there is the facilitation or simplification of the rules for hiring workforce, established specifically in such areas. These measures and instruments, which I mentioned, ensure us to provide support for every project throughout its life cycle, starting from choosing the location for manufacturing till entering the market of different countries of the Asia-Pacific region. And the authorities are ready to provide all the necessary support tools for businesses. The Ministry for Development of the Far East can become a one-stop shop for investors when they want to get those support tools. I'm confident that we have the same approach to any investment project, whether implemented by a Russian investor or by a foreign investor. I can guarantee you that here in the Russian Far East, We can implement just any projects by using the government support tools that currently exist and the tools of development institutions created by Russia.